Album 2 for me was a lot of growth in all different areas. I didn't want to do anything that wasn't genuine, and I was afraid of phoning it in or afraid of forcing another album. And the sophomore album has such a stigma about this, like, you know, I'm superstitious, and I know everything that they say about sophomore albums. And so I just remember saying, I will, you know, let you know if I get inspired, but I just need to, like, chill. And I remember laying on the floor of my house just sort of crying, but good crying and sad crying, like, at the same time, because I was just trying to believe the things that had happened. And so in doing that, I sat down at the piano, because the only way I know how to feel better is to write. So even if absolutely nobody listens or anybody hears these songs, they heal me in the moment. And so sat at the piano and I wrote this song called Trust. And as soon as I did, I had a eureka moment, and this is just the facts. This is a true story. I immediately knew what I wanted to say. I didn't want to, you know, just do anything. I wanted it to be really honest. And so for me in my personal life at the time, I had just come in and out of so many different relationships where I trusted my head, and then the next time I would trust my heart, and then the next time I would trust my head. Like, I was trying to find the right thing and make the right choices, and because none of the relationships worked out, I felt as though that I just didn't trust me. And so I wrote this song about it. And in that moment when I wrote the song, I named the album Head or Heart. I knew that Trust was going to be the first song on the album and set up the whole thing. And I knew that the theme of the album was going to be split into two, into head songs and into heart songs. And I knew I didn't have the answer yet either. I knew that I don't know which is the one you should trust. I feel like you should trust both. But at the same time, since it's my truth, I don't have the answer yet because I haven't figured it out. Maybe album 3 or 4 I do, but where I'm at right now is I'm still unsure. So the album is literally a collection of my little stories and my truths over the past couple years of choosing between one or the other, and in the end, still not knowing. Be My Forever is one of my favorite songs on the album. I wrote it with a guy named Jamie Scott in London. I spent most of my year recording the album and writing it in London. I'd say half the album is British, for sure. I connected with a lot of writers over there, and then I ended up recording 9 of the songs in London. And Be My Forever came out in January of 2013 because I was the most in love I may have ever been in my whole life, which is awesome because I knew I had a happy song in me. Like, I really, as much as I, you know, love the heart-wrenching stuff, I didn't want to force a happy song, and I think you can always tell if it's fake. So I remember going in the studio with this guy and him looking at me, and I was like glowing, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm in love, this is gonna be awful, we're never gonna write a song. And he's like, no, 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 this is good. And so we start singing, and it's, you know, I tell the audience, I'm like, it's the happiest song I've ever written, like, just a warning, you know, but I meant it. I really, really meant it. I knew it was a duet right away because the guy, Jamie, that I wrote it with, he was singing the guy part and I was singing the girl part, and I was like, this has to be a duet, and it has to be with Ed Sheeran, please. Like, he's my #1 choice, and it's all I want. It's perfect for me and him because he doesn't really sing a lot of happy songs either, so we laugh about that because it's both of us doing the happiest song, and he's my friend, and it just felt like perfect. Ed came to the studio just to hang out, and we hadn't played it for him or anything. We were like, you know, if he comes here and it happens, cool. Like, I didn't want to force it, of course, either. And even though in the back of my mind, he was like my #1 choice. And so he came to the studio and we were playing it, and he's like, oh my God, I love this song. He's like, I want to do it. And we're like, okay. And like, we didn't tell anyone, we didn't tell our labels. It was so organic and perfect. And we went in the studio and we laughed and had the best time ever. You can hear it, you know, we're like screaming and laughing at the end. His cousin was there and it says something silly at the end of the song, and I feel like we captured a moment. And the reason why it's folky and the reason why, you know, it comes off that way is because it was very live and it was done really small. I mean, it's almost like sitting around a campfire, that song, and the more tracks we added to it, it didn't feel right. So we kept bringing it back down to the basics, and that song, the melody carries that whole song. It doesn't even matter. I could do that song with an acoustic guitar and it would be just as fun. And so I'm really, really, really excited for the world to hear that one. Change is a really good theme for the album. Aside from trust and, you know, love in general, it's the first time that I've ever written songs really about myself. Human is about, you know, self-forgiveness. That's a me song. Burning Gold is a me song. I Believe is a me song. And so it's new for me to be a little bit more personal, I feel like, than I was with my first album. Burning Gold is a specific song about the moment that I moved to California from Philadelphia. I don't know how you just get that type of courage. I don't think you can just find it. I don't think it, you can't buy it, that's for sure. It's something that has to kind of happen inside of you. And I remember I was 20 years old, and it was the week before my 21st birthday, and my brother said, move to California, and I said, okay. And I just don't know where that came from, because that was so unlike me to leave my 300 family members and my comfort zone and my fears and everything all kind of balled up into, this. It just happened in this beautiful, sort of powerful way and felt like a flame in me. And that flame kept me going through all the hard stuff till my record deal, until my life changed. So the song is very specific. It's about literally leaving your hometown, because a lot of times our dreams aren't where we grew up. We have to go find them. And so that song is about that moment that I did that, and that I would not stop until my life was burning gold, which I think it is now.